What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Jerome, and I'm coming to you tonight with a review for Real Housewives of Atlanta season 11. This is episode number 20, the season finale, and the episode was titled Caught in the Middle. I hate that it's titled Caught in the Middle because nobody's really caught in the middle. But without further ado, we're just gonna go ahead and get right into the video. All right, you guys. So before I actually even start talking about the video and the episode, I want to talk about some stuff that I was actually going to talk about for the reunion. But since it's been played out in social media, we're going to talk about it right here, right now. If you guys don't know, Kandi has a YouTube channel where she, it's called Speak On, and she talks about, things that are going on in her life. She talked about Big Brother. She talks about the show as well. Almost as if she's almost like she's a YouTube commentator, like, most of us are who post on YouTube. So it was two episodes. It was the episode of Eva's wedding, and it was the episode after Eva's wedding where Marlo was telling the supposed T that, Eva was broke, not living in, the house that she said she was living in. So Eva was addressing that. She was addressing how the wedding was, overshadowed by Nene, how she was talking about everything that's happened in the episodes, pretty much what Kandi does every week on Speak On It. So then last week, I don't remember, I think it was either Thursday night that Nene did her live, because she has an Instagram as well. I mean, not Instagram, but a YouTube channel as well, which I'm not gonna plug it because I don't care about it. I think it's a little bit negative if we're being honest. Ooh, shit, excuse me. So she gets on there, she talks about Eva. She kept calling Eva sis, and I'm like, why are you talking about? Eva didn't really say anything too bad about, Nene in her video, in the video with Kandi. If you guys want to watch it, go check it out. I think it's Kandi Online. I can't really remember the name of Kandi's channel, but if you just type in Kandi, you'll find it. Nene, however, I'm not plugging. Like I said, not plugging it. Don't give a fuck about it. But she kept calling her sis. She was talking about how Kandi just always wants to have if the girls have a beef with her, Kandi wants to be there with them. I'm like, girl, you unfollowed her, and that's really what it is. In the interviews, like Andy Cohen asked them on Watch What Happens Live, what did she think about it? Nene unfollowed her. She didn't give a fuck. She did some more press. They asked the same question again. She said she did not give a fuck. And then, they brought up the whole situation about Kenya, which we'll get into that a little bit later. But she did say that when she brought Kenya to the party, she was like, I wanted Kenya to just, we hadn't done any, she hadn't been on all season. And she just wanted Kenya, to show up at some point. So she brought Kenya to a party that we're going to talk about later in the episode. For her to, it really just got on my nerves. But she was talking about that. She's talking about how, these girls are playing checkers and I'm playing chess. You are a fucking pawn. You're not a king, you're not a knight, you're not a bishop, and you're not a rook. You are a fucking pawn. Like, girl, fuck. I swear she gets on my fucking nerves. And then also in this video, she wants to talk about Portia. So in the video, she was talking about how, and this was also talking about the closet situation. And I'm like, why are we still talking about this closet? So with this, she was talking about how Portia didn't have a belt on, which she showed a clip, and you could clearly see the belt was around Portia's waist. The belt, I think the belt was kind of like built into her dress. And, she was talking about Portia, she wasn't in her closet saying that, I'm scared. She said that Portia did that in an interview. So then, I don't know if it was today or if it was yesterday, but Nene went back to her YouTube page, and she posted talking about, we have to do this, like we do this stuff, if the producers can't pick up stuff on the microphones, which microphones pick up a lot of shit. They can pick up thing. I'm sorry, guys, if that was loud, but just to let you know, the microphones pick up a lot of bullshit. So fuck you, Nene, for lying. So then she goes and she shows a clip where she's saying her tagline, I'm the glue for my wig and my family. And if you looked at the microphone that she was holding up, it was for ABC. And if you guys don't know, a few weeks, it's been about a month or so ago, that Michael Strahan and Sarah Hines from The View, they have their own show that comes on ABC. It comes on before General Hospital. Well, it comes on before General Hospital here in Dallas. So their show comes on, and they had a week called Real Housewives Week. So Nene was the first guest. Then they had Brandy and Stephanie Redmond from Real Housewives of Dallas. They had Lisa Rinna from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. They had Dorinda Medley from Real Housewives of New York. They had Margaret Josephs and Melissa Gorga from Real Housewives of New Jersey. So those were the housewives that were on there. Now, ABC does not own the rights to their taglines. Bravo does. And I'm thinking to myself, like, Nene, how fucking dumb do you think we are to not know that ABC and NBC are two different parent companies? Bravo is owned by NBC. So that's why you had to sit there and record your stuff, because ABC does not own the rights to your tagline. NBC does. And ABC didn't want Bravo, didn't want NBC to come at them and sue them for copyright. So, oh gosh, you get on my nerves. So then after, Portia read her, because I think somebody had went and took some clips from her YouTube live that she did, and it was posted on the Shade Room, and Portia shaded the fuck out of her, talking about, you a bald edges lie. I died laughing at bald edges lie. That shit took me out, man. Swear to God. So then, they went back and forth with one another. And then also Nene was want to talk about Cynthia, how Cynthia is not a good friend and she pretends she's this good friend and whatnot. And I'm like, all of this is because of Kenya, who in her video, she said she doesn't have an issue with Kenya. Then what the fuck are we talking about? Which we're going to talk about that in just a minute, what her issue is with Kenya. And it's a really dumb fucking issue. But yeah, she said that. So then I think this was late Friday afternoon, because I was getting ready to go to the gym. So this was late Friday afternoon. I went back to my Instagram, and I saw the Shade Room where Portia had released all the text messages that she and Nene had that day. And this is 6 days after Portia gave birth. Oh shit, excuse me. So Nene's sitting here calling her, talking about Portia's body, and I'm like, wait a minute. How you gonna talk about her body and you sitting there built like Gumby? And then how many faces have you had? Like, how many faces have you had in the last 10 years? Like, your nose is pinched like a motherfucker. Your wigs are fucked up. Your makeup is fucked. Everything about you is fucked up. Your personality is fucked up. So, then she gonna sit here and go back to a text message that she just sent to Portia when she had her baby. Like, bitch, we're talking about now, not 6 days ago. We're talking about today. Currently, what you said to Portia. So that's what's going on currently right now. So now we're actually just gonna go ahead and jump right into the episode. And I've been talking about that for 7 minutes so far. But so this episode, we see her, she's at Swag, and she's talking about some stuff that she's gonna send out to Miami. Don't really give a fuck about it. So then Marlo comes in there. Oh, and speaking of, let's go back to Marlo. Because she didn't really 100% address Marlo saying she's pregnant. She said that, I can't remember what she said about Marlo saying that she was pregnant. But then she also said in her video that Marlo is all about the, facts and what's real. So that's why she's sticking with her. No. Marlo is sticking with you because Marlo needs a paycheck. Marlo needs that friend of the housewives paycheck. That's what Marlo is still sticking with your big ass. That's the only reason. Because if you dump her like a hot potato, who gonna film with her? Cynthia's not. Eva's not. Candy's not. Portia's not. Shamar sure the fuck ain't. So where are her options at? Don't have very many, do she? And if she loses that friend of the housewives check, what does Marlo do for work? Don't tell me Simply Marlo LLC, because that is nothing. So yeah, Marlo is kissing your ass because what? Marlo needs to do what? Stay on Real Housewives of Atlanta and do what? Collect that friend of the housewives check. So yeah, that's why Marlo is sticking with your ass, not out of loyalty or anything, because the bitch wants the money. And I don't mean to call her a bitch, but that's just what it is. So, they are talking, Marlo asked about how Greg was. She said Greg is good, and Greg is, looking into doing chemo at this point. Oops, I'm on the wrong show with my notes. So yeah. Let's see. So, they still talking, and then they talking about Eva. Nene says that she felt like it was bullshit what Eva was saying. I'm like, have y'all not saw Kevin McCall on social media and how nutso that nigga is? Like, I don't like them sitting there talking about that girl. Like, what the fuck does it matter what she does with her life, where she lives, how much money she has? Why does that matter to you guys? It shouldn't, because it ain't your fucking business. And Marlo, you talking about she was started a GoFundMe for Eva Diva. Nah, boo, you need to start a GoFundMe for your goddamn self, because again, if Nene dropped you like a hot ass potato, what are you gonna do, bitch? You need the money. That's what you do. You need the money for this, to keep up this lifestyle of the the labels that you wear. So yeah. So then Nene starts talking about Kenya, and so here's where the beef between Nene and Kenya started, and I think it's a one-sided beef because it's more so on Nene's side. So Nene's talking about how on it's it was Instagram, because on Instagram you can have they had a little box where you can ask the questions, and the question was call, delete, or text 3 people: Andy, Portia, and Nene. So she said she would call Portia, she would text Andy, and she would delete Nene. And Nene talking about, Kenya talking about her in the press. I didn't know Instagram was the press, but okay, if you say so. And then she's talking about how she unfollowed her on social media. And I'm just like, wait a minute. So all this has to do with social media? Like, what? Social media? You got to be fucking joking me. Like, do you get paid by the number of followers that you have? Like, you don't. Like, that shit is, oh God, that was so stupid as hell to me. I thought it was ridiculous. And then she's talking about how Cynthia doesn't take up for her, but she defends Kenya. You guys were talking about Kenya's marriage last season. That was the whole running joke last season. So of course Cynthia's gonna defend her friend, even though Cynthia didn't even meet. What's her husband? What is Kenya's husband name? Mark? Is his name Mark? I think his name is Mark. So yeah, like, defend your friend, but the whole, call, text, delete, that is stupid. That's nothing. Kenya didn't attack you. Kenya didn't say nothing bad about you. Kenya just said she would just delete you. That doesn't mean that she would, like, they didn't go into depth about deleting. It could have been delete your contact number, delete you from my friends, delete you from whatever. Well, obviously it's delete you from my phone, but it ain't that deep. Like, what the fuck? Like, I swear to God, that ain't that deep. And then she's also upset because of the fact that, they all went to Kenya's baby shower, because and those photos the photos of Kenya's baby shower were really pretty. All the girls were there with the exception of her. I don't think Kenya invited her to her baby shower, which is not a big deal. Because Portia was there, Candy was there, Shamia was there, Cynthia was there. And I think that was it for the girls from the show. I think that was about it. But, like, it ain't that deep. Like, I think it's beautiful, and I really do, because I actually do see where Kenya, because like I've said before, you guys, I follow Portia on Instagram, and I see in the comments where Portia's comments were when she was talking about her, baby PJ, Kenya was a few weeks ago. Kenya left a comment on her one of her photos talking about tell baby PJ to come on, because Brooklyn needs a play date. And it's so good to finally see those two move past the drama and the pettiness, because the shit that went on between Portia and Kenya for the last, oh my God, how many years has it been? It's stupid. So I'm actually so happy to see those two getting along with each other. But then you got this Gumby looking thing upset about nothing. Like, absolutely nothing. That's ridiculous, man. Like, fuck out of here. All right, so next we got Eva. Eva, she's with Mike, and they're just talking. He's asking her when she's gonna change her last name on her social security card, her driver's license, and even her Instagram. And she's like, I'm Marcel. I know a lot of people were in the comments on Twitter last week and on Instagram talking about why is she still going by Marcel. Let's think, because she's a model and that is her business. Eva Marcel is her business. I'm pretty sure in her, in her private life, outside of her modeling and whatnot, she's probably Eva Sterling, but for her business purposes, she still is Eva Marcel. Like, what the fuck? Like, why do people want to make a big deal out of nothing? She and Mike know that they are married to one another. And so I'm pretty sure, like I said, on paper, like legally on paper, she probably is Eva Sterling. But for the purposes of her business, she is Eva Marcel. Like, let's remember, she did change her name. Like when she was in Top Model, her maiden name is actually Pickford. So when she was on America's Next Top Model and she was signed with Tyra them, and her modeling contract, it was Eva Pickford. But once that contract ended with them, I think it was Wilhelmina Models at that time that they were with. I can't remember her cycle, what modeling agency she was with, but she was Eva Pickford. And then when she left them, she went with Eva Marcel, which is her middle name. So I think it's her middle name, or it could be, I don't forget what the whole thing was with Marcel, if it was her middle name or if it was something with her grandmother. I don't remember. It's been years ago. But so they are in wedded bliss at this point with one another. And they talk about, she's like, oh, we can get a joint, you can put me on your bank account. Or actually I can put you on my bank account. He was like, yeah, you can put me on yours because I ain't got no money. And they just, she just feels hurt about that her quote friend would talk about her finances and where she lives at. And Eva, that's not a friend. Through and through, that ain't a friend. But, Eva said she felt like she didn't need to explain herself to the girls. And Mike was like, I think you did. So I can agree to disagree with Mike on that one. I agree with him on one. I agree with him that, yeah, tell them so that they can shut the hell up. Because for the show purposes, because that is what the show is about. You're putting your real life out there. So I do get that part. But at the same token, it ain't nobody's business what her financial situation is, where she lives. It's nobody's business. But again, she's on this show and she's supposed to be putting her real life out there. So I get where he's coming from with that one. But like I said before, with the housing situation, production just made that seem, production just made that shit seem all kinds of sketchy to me. But, congratulations to Eva and Mike. I hope they have a long, happy, and prosperous marriage. I don't think I said that right. All right, you guys. And next we got Portia. Portia is having her gender reveal party. So we see all the guests showing up. And as the guests show up, you kind of look and see like, are we on time? Are we early? Because it looks like these motherfuckers are just setting up. So did Portia get the time right? Come on, Portia. Did you get the time right? But she did. They did get it right. It's just that her team or whoever dropped the ball some fucking weird. Because like I said, it looked like they're just setting up this fucking event for her. So then we see Portia shows up and Dennis goes and talks to her and tells her, I want to stop you before you get in there because you might be pissed off. She's like, why would I be pissed off? And I was looking at Portia's, I saw a clip of it earlier last week and I was looking at that wig. I'm like, why does she have a blue wig on? But then then in this episode, we can see the pink tips on it. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. It was cute. So Portia's upset, and then, Mama Diane, with her storm wig, takes Portia into the bathroom, and she calms Portia down. So Portia comes back out, and, all the girls are there with the exception of Nene. Like, if this is your little sister, why didn't you show up to her gender reveal party? Like, that's bullshit. Let's go. Okay, so I just thought about something else. So if you guys don't know, Portia, because it's a 3-part reunion, I think it's a 3-part reunion. So after the reunion is over with, Portia will have I think it's April 28th. Portia will have a 3-part series, a little mini series about her baby. And Nene in her live kept calling it a 3-part commercial. Why are you hating on her? Like, oh my God, you are such a fucking hater. But yeah. So like I said, the girls were there. And Shamari asked, "Is Candy coming?" And Cynthia was like, "No, she's not coming." She did send a gift, and she gives her. Here's a weird thing that happened in this episode. So I don't know if Mike was drunk or what, but Mike was talking about marrying Cynthia, and then he was talking about how his pull-out game is weak and she might get pregnant. I'm like, what? But okay, whatever. So then we get to the gender reveal. We get to the gender reveal, and they revealed that it's a baby girl, which we all knew that. It was kind of lackluster because we saw this on social media, and now we know Portia had her baby, and it was a girl. But the weird thing was that it was pink and blue. So I was like, huh? How did that happen? Like, is she having twins? Which we know she didn't, but oh, that is an interesting story that just happened this past week, where a woman had a baby a month prior, and then she went back and had twins. Like, damn. So when they be considered, they really wouldn't be triplets, because she had two different wombs. Because one baby was in one womb and then the twins were in the other womb. And that is really fucking interesting. But, again, Portia had her baby girl. Congratulations to Portia and Dennis. Again, I'm kind of happy that this season has ended. So now we're going into the reunion, and then we will go into Real Housewives of Potomac season number 4. I'm looking forward to Real Housewives of Potomac, minus Robin and Juan. Don't want to talk about those motherfuckers. All right, so then we got Cynthia. Cynthia is meeting with Candy. So Cynthia is having this launch party for some Bellinis that she's having. Can't remember the name of the company that is with. It's one of those big name companies, and I don't know it because I don't drink it, because I'm not. It's like a wine cooler. I don't really drink wine coolers unless it's I haven't drank a Smirnoff in years, because that's just nothing but. That is nothing but lemonade with a splash of liquor, a little splash of almost vodka in there. I'm a hard alcohol type of guy. Ooh, shit, I'm about to burp. Ooh, shit. Excuse me, y'all. Like I said, I'm a hard alcohol kind of guy. I like tequila. I love Crown and Coke. I love beer. What else? I don't like vodka. I like Everclear. I love what else? Man. I like to drink. But, like I said, wine coolers and stuff like that, it just ain't for me. I like Mike's lemonade. Oh, I love that. But yeah, that's the type of stuff that I drink. So I don't drink that Cynthia is got. But congratulations to Cynthia. And also, so they were sitting there, they were talking, and Cynthia asked Candy, how can she get it in OLG? Candy was like, you would have to talk to her. And it's cute. So, they then talk about the party at the OLG and, the things that happened with Eva. Now, the way that production did do the editing, it does make it look like Eva was backtracking, and it just made it sound all kind of confusing. And then Candy's just, recollecting the conversation that she and Eva had with each other. So then Cynthia starts talking about Kenya's baby shower, how she really did like it. And she's, I think everybody's just happy that, even Portia came, and the relationship that Portia and Kenya have at this point is so good, and they're just happy to see them in a good space with one another. But then they start talking about Nene, how she was taking jabs at, Kenya on social media, how she was commenting on everybody's pictures, which I did see, and I actually did see this stuff, and I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell is going on? And you can really see in those comments that she was being sarcastic, because I think she commented on one of Portia's pictures. I'm almost positive she did. Because I don't follow, I just follow Portia. I like all the girls, but I do just follow Portia. But, when I saw the photos, I'm like, okay, I want to see what the other girls' pictures look like. And I saw all the other girls' photos. And then I see her at the bottom of the comments, like, is it that deep? Like, what the fuck? Like, get the fuck off the gas. So then Cynthia says that, she's talking about some stuff that Nene told her back when it came out that Greg had cancer. She said all the girls text Nene almost immediately, with the exception of Kenya, and so that's why she's in her feelings. And again, none of this makes sense at all. It's juvenile, it's petty, it's stupid. And Cynthia's like, I've invited both of them to my event, so either way it go, Nene needs to get over this bullshit. Like, here's my thing. If it was a real drama, if it was a real beef, yeah. Because also, Marla was talking about, because I didn't say this with the Nene segment, because I spent too long talking about that. But I'm kind of included here, because it was Bravo was doing what they've been doing all season. They have one person having a conversation, and another person over here on the other side have a conversation. So Nene was talking about how she doesn't plan to go to the launch party that Cynthia's having, but Marla was like, "Oh no, you gotta go." And even if there was a real issue with one another, Cynthia is a mutual friend of both you and Kenya's. Go to the party, support your friend. If Kenya does happen to show up, be like, okay, cool, bring up Kenya. I don't have nothing to say to Kenya. Like, I'm here for Cynthia. I'm here to support Cynthia. Forget Kenya. I'm here to have a good time. Like I said, here to support my friend. That's her friend too. So, we can be in the same room with each other. We can be cordial. I can say, hi, Kenya, how you doing? Or I can be like, I don't see Kenya. Either or, it shouldn't be that detrimental to anything in life. Like, it's stupid as shit. And I'm really tired of talking about it, but I know I'm going to have to talk about it again for Cynthia's fucking party. All right, so next we're going to move over to Cynthia's launch party. So we see all the girls there. We see Eva there. We see Tanya. We see Shamari. We see Giovanna. And we saw Portia show up with Shamia, who were both very pregnant. And then we see Nene and Greg show up. And God, almost as immediately as she walked in there, you could just feel a negative vibe from her. It's like, what the fuck? Like, are you serious? And then she sat down and she was talking to Portia. And in her interview, she's talking about how, Portia is not being supportive. I'm like, girl, I know you're not talking about Portia going to Kenya's fucking baby shower. It's not that deep. Like, what you want these girls to do? Be mad at her forever because King Nene got a problem with Kenya. Let me have a problem with the girl. Like, no, life don't work that way. Like, if I'm friends with you and you got a problem with somebody else that I'm friends with, I'm gonna be like, you know what? That's between you two. Y'all got an issue. I don't have an issue with you, and I don't have an issue with you. But what y'all got going on between one another, y'all got to work that out. If y'all have to fight each other to get it out there, do that. But don't bring me in the middle of it. And I'm the type of friend that if I have two friends that have an issue with one another, I'm not going to let one talk about each other. I'm not going to let one talk about the other one in front of me. And I'm not going to let the other one do the same. Actually, I've had that issue. I had that issue back when I was in college. One of my best friends was not friends with one of my other friends and it was because of a guy, because they were both having sex with the same guy. And my one friend, she was like, we would never talk about, actually, I never talked about either one of them with the other person, and, my friend was like, what happened was somebody went back and told one of my friends some stuff, and it got blamed on me. And, she was like, I know you didn't say it. And she stood up for me. She was like, because my friend was like, my friends call me Gerald. And she's like, I bet you Gerald told him. She said, actually, he didn't. She said, I came to him and asked him and he told me nothing. And I was like, thank you. Because I'm like, we had a conversation and she was like, I heard this. I'm like, you know what, that's between, I'm like, you need to talk to her about that because that ain't got nothing to do with me. I said, you know how I feel about you. I said, we've been friends for a very long time. I don't want to get in the middle of that because I don't want to jeopardize my friendship with her, and I'm not going to jeopardize my friendship with you. Like, y'all got the issue with each other. Y'all need to talk to each other. Please. And she was like, and she said to me, I'm not going to put you in the middle of it. She said, I'm just letting you know that I heard it. And I'm like, cool. Thank you for giving me the heads up. But I ain't told. And she's like, I'm like, I didn't tell you nothing. And I didn't tell you. She's nothing. She said, correct. And then eventually it came out that I never said, me and my other friend fell out because she thought that it was me that said, went back and told her business. And then when it came out, she apologized to me. She said, Gerald, I do apologize. I thought it was you, but then I got information that it wasn't you. I'm like, it's cool. We cool. We actually cool to this day. We're just not as close as we used to be back in the day. So, that's how that shit can work. Be friends with each other. Like, be friends. But don't let one friend talk about the other friend in your presence. Like, that's how life works. You can be cool and cordial with people, and you can be friends with people who are not necessarily friendly with each other. You just have to have a balance between them, and don't ever mention one person's business in front of the other person. I don't know why Nene feels like she's so fucking important. Like, that shit gets on my fucking nerves. So then we see Candy. She shows up to the baby shower, and she's there with Kenya. And Kenya, speaks to Greg, and Greg actually looked like he was happy to see Kenya. So let me go back to Nene's live that she did. Because she said in her live to watch it until the end because she said Greg was not too happy about something that he saw. So we will address that in just a few minutes, what Greg may have saw. Because then Candy, takes Kenya to see where Cynthia and everybody else is. And immediately Nene starts shading Kenya about how she looks. First of all, she's pregnant. So of course she's going to be big. Like, she's pregnant. And once again, what's your excuse that you built like fucking Gumby? What is your excuse? Please let everybody else know. What the fuck is your excuse? You're not carrying a baby. And if I'm remembering correctly, your kids are grown. So Bryson is my age. Bryson is at least 30 or something, almost 30. And then Brent, he's about Noel's age, so about 18 or 19. So what the fuck is your excuse? Oh, that's right. You don't have an excuse to be built like Gumby. Fuck out of here. She just got on my fucking nerves. Oh, like the fact that she just kept talking about Kenya. And then Shamia was talking about how, she's almost due. And, I think she said she and Kenya were about a week apart. And then he rolled her eyes like, why does anybody mentioning Kenya affect you so badly? Like, it ain't that fucking deep. Be like, who? Kenya who? Never heard of that person. Like, oh God. So, then Kenya got on the microphone and Nene got in her feelings because Kenya got on the microphone. Again, not that deep. It was stupid as shit. So, Cynthia wanted to try to, say something to Greg, just kind of, show him some love for being able to come out. But again, Nene been in her fucking feelings. She made it all about her. Like, what the fuck? That shit got on my nerves. So then we see the next day. So it looked like Candy and Cynthia were having a conversation. I don't know if it was over the phone or what. But Candy kept telling Cynthia, I'm mic'd up. And Candy actually addressed this on her YouTube page. Because Eva was talking about when, Nene was talking to her. And, last week when she didn't want Nene to be mic'd up. And Nene was still mic'd up. And then, Candy says, yeah, I've had that happen in the past where, I'm with some of my friends and I'm telling them, hey, microphone is on. The microphone is on. Basically, just to watch what you say. If you don't want them to hear something, then kind of just watch what you say because it's being recorded. So then we kind of hear Cynthia say, I think they were trying to come up with what I don't know if editing is a bitch. Because it kind of would make it seem as if Cynthia was saying, let's get our story together about what we're going to say. So then we see Nene, she's sitting down and we see Tanya show up. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Why is Tanya there? First of all, if Nene wants to have a conversation with Cynthia, why couldn't she just have a solo conversation with Cynthia? Like, that would have been much easier. Now, so I did see a clip. We did see a clip in the show where Cynthia was hugging with Mike. And she told him, I'm supposed to act like I didn't know she was coming. And then people were talking about, oh, that's what Nene was talking about. She fake. She do this and she do that. Okay. What that mean? Again, it was Cynthia's event. So if Cynthia wanted to invite Kenya to her event, she damn well fucking can do it. It's her fucking event. not Nene's event. Now, if it was Nene's event and Nene said, I don't want Kenya to come to my event, cool. Then that would be a different thing. But the fact that it was Cynthia's event that she held, Nene cannot tell her who the fuck she can invite and cannot invite. Nene can go suck a dick. It's like, for real. She can go suck a dick. Oh, God. So then I hated the fact, I love the fact that Cynthia stood up to Nene. I was happy for that. Like, girl, stand your ground. We always talk about Cynthia don't have a backbone, but I was so happy for Cynthia to stand up against her. Like, and then Cynthia, she's talking about how, Nene's talking about how she feels like Cynthia stands up more for Kenya, but don't do it for her. And Cynthia was like, I know damn well you're not talking about this social media stuff, this call, text, and delete shit. Like, I don't take that shit too seriously. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you. Nobody took that shit too seriously, but that woman right there, like, you are a jealous, insecure person, Nene. That is exactly what you are. A jealous, insecure broad. Like, ugh. And then when she walked, Nene got up and walked out, and Cynthia falling about. I'm like, Cynthia, you are better than me, because I would not have walked out. I would have been like, you know what? If she want to be like that, let her go. I'm not finna chase after her. Fuck her. Let her do what she gonna do. Oh, God, that just got on my fucking nerves. Thank God this season is over. I hope Nene does not come back for season 12, but I have a feeling she will. But who was she? The question is, who was she filmed with? Because she has an issue with most of the girls at this point. Like, who is she gonna film with besides Marlo? I guess she would film with Shamari. But that's not a lot of people. Good luck next season, Nene. All right, you guys. So that is it for Real Housewives of Atlanta season number 11. It's in the books. So we are done with the Real Housewives of Atlanta so we still have the reunion, but we are done with the Real Housewives of Atlanta until November of this year. So like the video, leave your comments, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys later on for Married to Medicine Los Angeles.